Dear friends, welcome back to the channel. Today I'll be going through another beginner level machine on the Vulnhub, which is HackathonCTF. The link will be put in the description section below so that you can download and play on your own. Before we get started, make sure to subscribe to my channel and give this video a thumbs up. It really helps the channel grow. So now let's get started. And in this video, I will be showcasing the how to use Python to convert ASCII to string or text, and you will see how Python can make our life more easier, more enjoyable. Okay, so now we can head over to Kali Linux to begin with. First of all, we need to discover the IP address of the target machine. The utility I'd like to use, as always, would be netdiscover. As you can see over here, the IP address of the target machine could be recognized as 19. So what shall we do next? We need to conduct port and safe scanning with a map. To save time of this video, I've already completed before, so now we can get out its result. Let's scroll up a bit. So as you can see over here, I took the options like scene scan, the version scan, the default script scan, and followed by the full range port scan. The last option for all is ON to output the result into this file. Then can we retrieve scanning results whenever, okay? From the map scanning results, we can tell that the target has 1, 2, 3, 4 open ports in total. Now let's take a look at them one by one. The first one is 21, and which is running FTP service and also the version information VSFTPD and its corresponding version number. And the second one is 23, and it's running Telnet service. And the next one is 80, which is running HTTP service, and also the version information Apache 2. And we can see later we can access the robots file, which contains 3 disallowed entries. Yeah, these 3 entries, but the title is 404 not found. A bit weird, okay? And the last one is 7223, very unusual port number for SSH. Again, it's important to put this full range port scan option, otherwise this port number cannot be recognized or discovered successfully. And also we can know the version OpenSSH. This version is pretty much old, but it's not easy to pick some kinds of exploit. Okay, so now what can we do next? Let's start our enumeration with the FTP service we can use, such as point VSFTPD, but no results, shell codes and exploits papers doesn't have any results. Okay, and the next one is Telnet. We cannot do very much at this point, although this is very insecure service because it's not encrypted. Everything will be transported in clear text. But now our goal is to penetrate into this target machine. Okay, and the next one is 80, which is, oh sorry, I think we cannot do very much. So I think now what can we do next? We need to enumerate the web application both manually and automatically. Let's fire up the browser to perform manual enumeration first. We can put the IP address of the target machine into the address bar. Press enter. Yes, indeed, we got back this not found. although this is very unusual. Okay, so now we can check its source code. We cannot find anything from its source code. Next, we can access the robots file, and we find at the bottom we can find this encoded message. We can use the command line to decode. Very easy. This is a pipe operator, so the output of the previous command would be the input of the next command. So here we got this one. I think this should be a possible directory name or maybe some kinds of a hint. So I think later possibly we need to perform brute force against SSH. Okay, so now let's go back. And now this allows 3, this robots file contains 3 disallow entries. Now we need to access all of them manually by browser. CTF. But we still get this not found response, and nothing else in this source code. And also we can access FTC. Press enter. And Sudo. Press enter. Maybe there are some kinds of rabbit holes for us. Okay, it doesn't matter. We can bypass such rabbit holes easily, because we are going to perform automatic enumeration with some kinds of utilities. For example, the first one I'd like to use is Decode. Press enter. Decode can give us a lot of different types of information about the web application, like the version information, the header of a request, and also allowed HTTP methods. But nothing exciting in this case. Next, let me launch Gobuster to perform directory enumeration. If you can take my methodology and my techniques, you can do this machine without too much difficulty. Otherwise, you will be getting lost. Okay, and we can use the normal word list directory. Okay, and you may be wondering why we have already got this hint. Possibly we need to perform brute force against SSH service. Unfortunately, at this point, we didn't have username yet. Okay, so now we just need to follow some kinds of standard methodology. Let's press enter. Of course, no, we need to put the option of extension. Okay, like HTML, back, and PHP. In some cases, we need, based on the information what we have already got, we need to put additional extensions for enumeration. Okay, now we can press enter. Now we find FTC, but in this case we should append this extension HTML and also sudo. So now even we are given some kinds of rabbit holes, we can get this done easily by the Gobuster. I prefer using Gobuster to perform directory enumeration. Now let's access these 3 HTML files. So just sudo it. From the little spark may burst a mighty flame. I agree. Okay, now we can check its source code. So here we can get the possible username. Fantastic. So now we can put over here. Before we try to perform brute forcing against SSH service, we need to complete our enumeration with web application. Okay, so now let's go back to we need to access CTF HTML page. Nothing in this page, but please be careful. We need to check its source code. Yes, indeed, nothing in this page. Next, we can check to see whether we can access the I think FTC. Press enter. What are looking for? Yeah, we are looking for, the vector which allow us to penetrate into the machine. Okay, page source, and we got something in its source code, and they look like some kind of ASCII code, and you can use the online service to decode it. For example, like this one, and you can convert each code or ASCII code to a different or each character. But I don't like this way. I'd like to use Python in case maybe there'll be hundreds of such code which should be converted. This will be take a very long time. Okay, so now how to do? I'd like to copy this ASCII code, and we can save it to file. For example, we can save file to current working directory. Hackathon, yeah, this one, and you can, for example, you can use any name for this file. Now, I'd like to, of course, you can use editor like PyCharm to create the program and to decode such codes. But this code would be very easy and simple. So I'd like to launch Python, interactive Python. Okay, so how to do? So output, we can set this variable initially to empty string, and we can open the file with read-only mode. Okay, and we can iterate over this file in readlines method. So now we can output plus equals, and so then we can use the method or function. This will convert integer, the ASCII, but this should be integer. We need to convert because at this moment this is string. We need to do some kinds of processing. Int, and we can use line. We can use line split by hashtag. Okay, and the second, the split method will return a list, and in this case I want to retrieve the second item. Okay, so how to do? We just use the index of 1 because the list always starts from 0. Okay, so now I think that's it. Oh, we got error. So, what's going on? So now we need to, I think there is some mistake in our code, but this doesn't matter. So output and so the int function and the line split. Okay. They should be, we should put the index here. So this is a list. I think now is correct. No error. Now we can print out the output. As you can see, we got back the decoded message. Although, this is just some kinds of hint. But without such hint, even I will use locq as with the list to perform brute forcing against SSH. Anyway, the point here is to show you how to use Python to convert the ASCII to characters. Okay, so now let's switch. Maybe we can exit from this Python now, and we can launch Hydra because we have already got its username test, and we can use the locq with the list, locq and the surface and the IP address of the target machine. But in this case, we need to use a -s to specify this port number because this is not a default port number by SSH. We can press enter. So now Hydra starts its brute forcing, and this will take a bit of while. I'm going to pause the recording. All right, as you can see over here, Hydra has already successfully retrieved the combinations of valid username and its password. We can copy and paste over here, whatever. So now we can SSH to the target machine easily. So test, but we need to use the P option to specify the port number. And we need to copy its password from notebook. Press enter. Now we are in the target machine. So now we can run command, nothing here, bash history. Oh, sorry, you need to ignore this history, bash history, because I didn't record the video from scratch, from the fresh state. Okay, so now we can run sudo to see whether we can run sudo. We can. However, in front of root there is exclamation mark. So it means that we cannot use this to elevate privilege to root user. Okay. Now we can go to the opt directory and go to var or zip file. Zip. So what's this? Oh, this should be. So how to use maybe I need to transfer this to the Windows to decompress, but this is not necessary. I'd like to skip this part or this file. Okay, www.html. So nothing here. Now we can go to temp directory because I'm going to upload the NimPairs shell script to perform automatic enumeration. We can copy from my toSets directory, and in order to upload this file to the target, I'd like to set up web server on the Kali Linux. So now let's go back or switch to this tab. We can use wget. So what's the IP address of the Kali Linux? I need to check with this command. Okay. lim pairs. Let's make it executable. Let's run it. I think this version is very old, but I'm not going to, take kernel exploit to elevate privilege, even the Decode. So I think there will be several possible ways to elevate privilege. Okay. But I want to look for low hum flute, or the easiest way to elevate privilege. Cron job. So sudo. So nothing very exciting. Let's just go back to the beginning of this output. Cron job. Protection, local exploits. Oh, I think this version is a bit old. Actually, the a bit old version of sudo is vulnerable to this vulnerability. Okay, the before this version, we can run as all sudo account, and can bypass certain policy blacklists and session PAMs modules, blah blah blah, and we can use this way. So okay, so how to do? It's very easy. I've already demonstrated this technique before. If you have already followed my channel, we can use sudo and u option hashtag, but -1. Of course, this is not existent. Now we can run bash. As you can see, it's successful. Now we can navigate to root directory, and we do not need to grab the flag. Okay, so I think that's pretty much it. I'd like to see you next. Bye. Have a good day, please.